Welcome to the show, everybody. Let's see what we got going on here. I might as well get the slider right for the radio people. Hello, in radio land. Oh, yeah, on this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Friday. It's finally Friday. We get the weekend to relax, and then we come back with a big manic Monday and City Council agenda review with my buddy Dave Wheeler should be in the studio. So we're going to finish off the weekend here, and it's been a wild week. It's been a wild week, and we're going to get into next week, and then the 18th and 19th. I'm out of here. No show on the 18th and 19th, Thursday and Friday. I'm getting the heck out of town and relaxing for a couple days. And hopefully the weather stays a balmy 62 degrees at 4:30 in the morning, like it was today. Not bad considering we're in the middle of September, but it's coming. We know it. We know it's coming. Geez, I sitting there about 11 o'clock and the power went out. Well, what the heck is this? And it came back on. It flashed and it seemed to be all right. And then I got up at about 2 in the morning. The power was out again. I mean, what the heck's going on with this power? About 5 after 2, it came back on. Apparently, from my alarm system, it went off at 1:30 and was off for like a half an hour, 40 minutes, and came back on. So what's up with the power grid? Hey, unplug those Teslas, you EV maniacs. You're sucking up the power for everybody. Of course, my name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, sitting here in the studios of 4680Q in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, coming to you with the latest about the city, about the world, about the news. And we had a great show yesterday. Peter Dichter and Dr. Peter Sacco came in. Thank you so much for those two coming in, because I don't know if I could have done a show yesterday. My heart wasn't in it, but they came in and we got through a good hour and a half, hour and about 15 minutes of the show. And of course, we'll talk more about that later on. Let's get to my sponsors first. I always get dry in here. I don't know why. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza Victoria Avenue, Hamill Machine Company, and Niagara Parks Commission. Those are my 4 sponsors. They're great sponsors. Thank you so much. Support our sponsors. They help to bring the show to you. So we want to support them, keep them healthy and strong. And speaking of healthy and strong, you want to make sure your car is healthy and strong. That's right. We're going into the winter. You want to make sure your car is ready tip top. How do you do that? You take the Ken Hunter at Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, and you let him go over your car. He's going to check your brakes, your coolant system. He's going to check your heater core. He's going to check everything. Make sure all systems are go. Repair anything that isn't right, and get you back on the road for a happy motoring winter. You do not want to break down in the middle of snow on a miserable day. You don't want to wait for CAA. They're the days that CAA takes hours to get there because they're so busy. If you're proactive, you don't have to suffer that torture. Well, Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, full body shop, as well as a repair shop, auto repair shop. If you get in a wreck, he'll take your car in, fix it up for you, and send it back to you in brand new condition. Showroom condition, I like to call it. And what more can you ask for? Support our sponsors. They support the show. And don't forget, if you go to wildbillsauto.ca, his website, while you're in there, sneak over to YouTube, hit my show, Paul Lemire, or Your City, Your Voice, or absolutely any of them. You can like any of them. Subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up, thumbs down. Leave some comments. We love comments. They're a good part of the show. We get to discuss a lot of different points of view, and that's why it's called Your City, Your Voice. You do have a voice. Let us know what you think. Okay, so let's get into it. I mean, yesterday the whole day was about Charlie Kirk, and I'm still beside myself about this. And so many people have messaged me and said the same thing, and they're looking for discussion about what happened and why it happened, and because it was so senseless. I mean, tributes are coming in from everyone, including professional sports teams, professional sports figures. They all want to pay tribute to a great human being who believed in dialogue, not violence. Vigils are popping up all over the United States. and people are standing up singing "Amazing Grace" at him. It's crazy what's going on. I think his assassination will hang over America for a long time. Trump ordered all the flags at half staff on any federal buildings. You'd like to see him on any public buildings. Even Elon Musk is getting in there. He's putting number 77 on all his SpaceX rockets and stuff from now on in honor of Charlie. And 77, I think, is some kind of a Christian. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I looked it up, and it's some kind of a Christian reference. And we know Charlie Kirk was a big Christian, not afraid to tell anybody about that. I mean, the country as I see it right now, and from just what I get off the internet, Facebook and everything, there's a lot of people dancing in the aisles, and this isn't right, but it's the way people are today. And there's a lot of people who are really touched by this. Right now, the United States, I would say, is on a slow boil. It's simmering. They're just waiting to catch the guy who did it, and I'll be talking about that in a minute. And then we're going to see the reaction when they find out who this guy is, what his sympathies were, what he was up to, and why, if we could ever find that out, why he did this. I mean, it's crazy. They found a weapon. They have some pictures and several clues as they retrace the assassin's route and how he committed this atrocity. And they're piecing it all together. Now, yesterday, when I wrote this story early this morning, like about 5:30, all indications were that the killer could be a guy named Sky Valadez of Ogden, Utah, a member of a trans activist gun group. And had this all over. I'm not saying anything that hasn't been in the public, hasn't been released in the public. So don't think I've got some inside line. And I kind of mentioned this yesterday because on the Steve Crowder show, he was saying it. And when Peter Dichter and Dr. Peter Sacco were in, I mentioned all of this. So, yeah, it's not like anything that hasn't been released publicly. So it's out there. Now, I did mention that this wasn't at all um, confirmed. And the guy who they were talking about had been on the podium to ask Charlie Kirk questions. And I remember seeing that show where a guy had a megaphone. He walked up to the mic. He was yelling from the back. Charlie called him up and said, if you got something to say, come on up. Let's hear what you have to say. Because that's what Charlie did. And he came up and he was yelling at the megaphone at him and just really being a real jerk. But, Charlie stayed calm at all these things and, and had a discussion with him about whatever he believed. And everybody was saying it's the same guy. This is the guy who did. But all of a sudden this morning at around 9 o'clock, they said that another guy was caught. And this guy was 250 miles away by Zion National Park, somewhere down south of southern Utah. And the guy's name is Tyler Robinson. And he apparently confessed to his father, who told the minister. I mean, this is the story here. To me, it doesn't. It doesn't ring with me here. Something not right here. Who went to the authorities and turned him in for $100,000, no less. But this, I don't know. This just doesn't make sense to me. But I guess this is the guy. They've got, they got a lot of clues. But I mean, they found a palm print. So if they match that up, then I mean, there's no really refuting a palm print. They're like fingerprints. But his name is Tyler Robinson, and I just don't understand the whole thing here because you're going to go travel 5 hours or something like that, 250 miles to clip a guy. You're going to go through all the trouble of running around, changing clothes. He changed clothes twice. He had different clothes on. Then when he went up on the roof and changed them again, and dispose of the rifle in a forest where it's pretty easily found, really. I mean, it's not too hard to find it. leave palm prints here and there and all evidence. Then you're going to go 250 miles back home only to confess. Why didn't the guy just stand there and let him arrest him? I mean, and of course there's the death penalty in Utah. So President Trump, he's really upset about this. And he said, they're going to go to the full extent of the law, and this guy may get the death penalty. Now, this guy Valadez, the other guy, also had an account on SoundCloud called Charlie Kirk Dead at 31. And I mean, there's a lot of things that point to this guy, but yet it's some other guy. So I really don't know what's going on with this. It's just the whole thing is really, really weird. I don't know what they're going to come up with. I had to leave. I couldn't watch the rest of the story unfolding. I'm sure we're going to find out more, so keep an eye on it. But apparently they've got their man, Tyler Robinson, and why he would, just confess that he did it. I mean, why would you go through all that trouble and then confess that you did it? It doesn't sound like something someone would do. Most people say, no, I never did it. Right? I don't get it. But we'll find out. We'll find out. And to all the people who are dancing on Charlie Kirk's graves in Canada, especially, President Trump has said, hey, anybody who's on social media celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination, round up their names, put them in a database, and when they hit the border to come into the States, they're going to be refused entry. So anybody who's thinking of going to the United States that has been mouthing off, and there's been a lot of guys fired, a lot of people fired. We saw one guy from CHCH, Don Janescu, up there saying it was delicious that Charlie Kirk was shot when he was a big guy who supported the Second Amendment. And this is totally on the line. I mean, it's not delicious for anybody to get assassinated, and he should be taken to task. Maybe he will be. I don't know. I think CHCH already filed a disclaimer saying it's not the views of the station or whatever. But still, I mean, this guy, come on. Unbelievable. But anyway, yeah, if you're on there yelling and screaming about Charlie Kirk and being happy that he got killed, and you're going to head over to the States, you may not make it over. Listen, they watch social media. Everybody watches social media. There's one guy who's on there saying if you see anybody dancing on this grave, report it to him, and he's reporting the people to the authorities. It's crazy. This has really affected a lot of people, and we're going to feel the repercussions for a long time. And I know people still messaging me today saying, trying to figure it all out, and still distressed about it, feeling sick about it, and I am too. I got to admit, I still feel bad about it. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's. I didn't know Charlie Kirk, so there's no way. I can feel bad about that other than watching him all the time and enjoying him and seeing what a good guy he was. But I think it's deeper than that. I think it's something to do with a turning point in politics and in America and what's going on over there and what the repercussions could be. Now that they've caught this guy, what's going to happen? We don't know. We're going to have to watch. We're going to have to watch how the conservatives handle this. One of their best getting shot down in cold blood, a civilian who had no ties to any military. He wasn't a politician, just a civilian voicing his opinion on things in a nonviolent way through discussion and dialogue, and just shot in the throat for what? Because he didn't agree with people? He had his own opinion and views on things? I mean, that's, I think, what's distressing a lot of people out. Yeah, it's distressing them. They're distressed. And for people who didn't follow him or didn't care or thought, I've heard people call him a Nazi and a white supremacist and KKK and everything else. I mean, they've called him everything, a racist and everything. You could call him all you wanted, but for people who knew him and followed him closely, you'll see he was none of those. Um, he was a guy who would rather have dialogue and talk things out with people than fight people and find common ground with people. But sometimes when people have this fervent belief and they have a mental illnesses and stuff like that, there is no debate. You can't debate a person who wants to fight. And many times I've seen people in the crowd want to fight Charlie Clear. And they said, "Let's come on, I'll fight you right now." And he wouldn't. I mean, there's no way he would. He's a big guy. I mean, he can hold his own, I would imagine, but that wasn't what he was there for. He wasn't there to fight anybody or to challenge anybody to a fight. He was there to talk about things, find out what their thoughts were and why maybe they might have a different perspective on things. That's it. But there's vigils all across the U.S. right now, and now that they've got the guy, now they're going to find out exactly what it was all about, why he shot Charlie Kirk, if he even has a reason. A lot of people don't even know they did it. Sirhan didn't know he did it. Oswald said he didn't do it. Some of these people are patsies, Manchurian candidates. Who knows? So it's going to come down. We'll see what happens. People are still sad. It's going to affect people for a long time, and we'll see where it all goes. We'll see where it all goes. People, conservatives that I hear are fed up. They're fed up. We've seen the conservatives, or just people in general, not so much conservatives, but people in general. I think you're going to see a lot of Democrats moving away from this radical left violence. Um, and we saw it in Welland. I mean, a few days ago, they marched at the courthouse. They met at the courthouse, 200 or 300 people protesting the government to change the laws, to toughen up the laws because of the little girl in Welland. So we're seeing an outpouring of a passion about crime and what it's doing to everybody, and how criminals are victims and victims are criminals. How the courts treat people today, and they're starting to take it to the streets. They're starting to take it to the streets, and they're trying to let people know that, hey, this isn't acceptable. These politicians have to change. And I mean, I've been talking about this for 3 years, so this isn't anything new to me. I'm saying that before a crime can be stopped, there's got to be a desire to stop it. And, and we haven't seen any of that from our courts, from our city politicians, regional politicians. We haven't seen the will. We haven't seen the will to stop it. They sit back and they watch while these criminals are let back out on their streets, wandering the streets, committing crimes, shooting people, stabbing people, robbing people, hijacking people's cars, running them over with their own cars, like the guy in Charles Daly Park by a guy who had a record from here to Timbuktu. These guys all are habitual criminals, yet they're on the streets. They're on the streets, and there's nothing that we can do. As a matter of fact, the top cop says if you don't want to be a victim, be a victim. In other words, rather than being a victim, let these guys have everything you have. When they break in, give it to them, and then they won't hurt you. But that's baloney too, because they'll kill you too. They don't care. They don't care. They just don't care. This is what we've got in this country now, and where the country's going. So it's getting so bad out west. They want Wexit. They want out of Canada. They've had it. I mean, there's change in the wind. Conservatives and anybody who's not affected by the left wing radicalism are coming to their senses and seeing what's happening right now. And, victims are not criminals. They're not. Victims are not criminals, and criminals are not victims. We've got it bass backwards in this country, but it could be changing. And it's up to us. It's up to us. It's up to shows like this. It's up to smaller shows, bigger shows, everybody to talk about it. And, Charlie Kirk did, and he gave his life for it. And he knew the risks. But it took that to start waking people up in the U.S. and maybe, just maybe, things changing. I mean, what's it going to take in Canada? The breakup of the Confederation? Wexit? Is that what it's going to take? I mean, we really don't want a Charlie Kirk situation, but when people get frustrated, things happen. That's all I'm going to say. You don't want them to happen, but it happens. And now we'll see what happens with Charlie Kirk. We'll see what happens with the guy they arrested, see if he's the right guy. They got palm prints, positive identification. So we'll see what happens. And probably by the time I get home, there may be more news after I finish the show and get out of here. Okay, I'm going to get to another bizarre story about the Charlie Kirk assassination. It has to do with Canada. I'm going to do that after I talk about my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza. And well, you know how I feel about pizza. I always talk about pizza on the show. Tabernac. I love pizza. But I just don't like any pizza. Pizza's got to be done right. It's got to be made right. And it has to be consistent. And that's what Pete's Pizza delivers, the one on Victoria Avenue anyway. And they're opening a new store on Kaler Road or Thorlstone Road at Kaler Road, where the old Pie Guys used to be. They're opening a new one there this month. You'll see it soon. And what they deliver is consistency. They use the Mancini family recipe for crust and sauce. They create a beautiful blend of brick and mozzarella cheese to put on the pizza. And the thing is, they know how to put it on the pizza in the right ratio. And that's so important. So all the flavor comes out. They use fresh toppings to top it off, whatever you like. They have them all. How can you beat it? They know what they're doing. They make a good pizza and they do it consistently. But they also have a full menu. You like wings? They got tremendous wings. You like poutine? You like steak and cheese poutine? They have a bunch of different poutines. You like panzerotti? They have panzerotti. They do the whole ball of wax. They're fantastic down there. Rex and Mike do a great job. Give them a call today, 905-374-2222. Get your fresh hot pizza. You know you want one. And tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. Support our sponsors because they support the city. They support the show. They're just good corporate citizens. And we support our small business. You want to support the small business and watch for the new opening. Now, this is a bizarre story related to the Charlie Kirk assassination. A Toronto man was accused of being the killer. This is unbelievable. This gentleman named Michael Melanson, 77-year-old retired banker, was awakened from a nap by his daughter's phone call saying he had been identified and accused of the killing online. Now, she was receiving hate mail about it and told her father to delete his account right away. Now, when they first started picking up people after this assassination, there was an old guy they picked up. They thought he might have had something to do with it. He was just a guy in the street, nobody involved. But he looked exactly like this guy in Toronto, and AI identified the picture as this guy and posted it. So people were getting this and saying that dirty, and he was wrongly identified, and he was identified as a registered Democrat who shot Kirk. Apparently, because of his likeness to this man, they thought it was him. And there's a bogus Fox news station in Nevada. There's a lot of bogus accounts on Facebook and that actually reported this. Now, Melanson himself, the guy in Toronto, had no idea who Charlie Kirk even was. Never heard of him, never watched him, didn't even know what they were talking about. He used this Facebook page, this Melanson guy, for good causes. He ran an advocate site for something called axial spondyloarthritis, and that's a condition he has. So he's a big activist in that, helping out. It's crazy. He said he has friends from England, Poland, India. He has people all over the world because of this condition, and they are asking him about it and being named the suspect. And it's turning into a nightmare for his family. His family was worried some crackpot would take a shot at him or something. So anyway, he said of all the people on Earth, This happened to me. Billions of people on Earth, this had to happen to me. Apparently, artificial intelligence is not quite that intelligence. Crazy story coming out about this Charlie Kirk thing. I think we're going to see a lot of stories coming out in the next little while, like lots of them. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out, crazy stuff that we're going to see here, and a lot of stories to tell. A lot of people telling the stories. Okay, so let's get back to Niagara Falls. You know those veteran crosswalks that Niagara Falls staff said would cost $75,000 for two of them? Do you remember that? Last city council meeting, they were talking about these veteran crosswalks and how much they were going to cost. Everybody's freaking out. I mean, I had some guy say that Welland got them done for $4,000 each, and they were going to spend like 35, 37, almost 40,000 a piece. Well, St. Catharines is getting theirs done for 24,000. Well, that's 50% saving off of the price that we got. Um, and they were going to use the same thermoplastic paint for longevity. It's expected to last 2 to 3 years before having to touch it up. And the annual maintenance cost, though, this is bizarre, would be about the same as the cost to put it in. How is it going to cost $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year to maintain a crosswalk? What are they going to be doing? They're going to have city council, city staff people, or city workers out there with a bucket and a brush scrubbing it every once a month or once every couple of weeks. How is it going to cost $2,000 a month to maintain it? I don't know what they're doing to have to pay $2,000 a month to maintain a crosswalk. You put it down and let cars drive over, and that's that. Where's the other money coming from? What you pay for it? I don't know. Why is it that every time City Hall gets a hold of a simple project, they turn it into a friggin' money grab? Every time, it never fails. You cannot ask them to do anything without it costing an arm and a leg. Something that, if it was done in the public, if some company wanted a crosswalk put in front of their building to honor the vets, they could probably do it for like $2,000. It would be fine. Why does City Hall always take these projects and turn them into nightmares? It never fails. It never fails. The exchange, $12 million when it started, ended up at $17.5 million. Then they're going back and putting in more lights and more stages and more and doing that. And Ruth Ann Van Nieuwesteeg wants to redo the parking lot. Only eight. It's only $8 a month. I mean, what is it with City Hall that nothing can get done? The Pride crosswalk only cost 16,000, and they're using a lot more colors. I don't know. It doesn't seem that complicated. Welland did it for 4,000 a crosswalk. Why don't somebody pick up the phone and call my buddy Graham Speck and say, Graham, tell me where you went to get it done for 4,000. We want to know. They're killing us over here. Why is Welland always getting stuff? They got 13 doctors. Niagara Falls got one. Welland, I don't know. They get a lot of stuff. They got it going on over there. They, I don't know. Go figure this one out. I can't figure it out. All I know is that whenever the final number comes down and they ring that final bell and King James the Weird hits the gavel, everybody votes yes. It comes out of our pocket. That's the only thing I know. And for some reason, they seem to think the more that comes out of our pocket, the better it is for us. It's only $8 a month. You figure it out. I've been sitting here for 3 years trying to figure it out, and I can't. I can't. Okay, so some good news, maybe. I don't know if it's going to be good news or not. I'm saying it's good news, but hey, what do I know? I'm a schmuck. Over to Queen's Park. The Blade Runner and the Painter are winning the war against speed cameras. Bravo. Bellissimo. The biggest scam running in Ontario right now is the is the is the speed cameras. and they're on the outs with Premier Ford. I'm not even going to call him Edsel Ford today. I'm going to call him Premier Ford. That's right. Ford has declared that these one-eyed bandits are not effective and just there to separate hardworking, tax-paying people from their money. The object of these cameras is to stop speeding, not to be a cash grab, but they've turned into exactly that, a cash grab. If you can afford to speed, be my guest. Go as fast as you want. There's no tickets, there's no points, there's nothing except a fine. Faster you go, the more it costs you per kilometer over the speed limit. That's it. That's it. Just pay. You can do it every day if you want. If you got the money to afford it, just do it every day. They'll just keep sending you the bill. You were speeding. Here's your bill, like an invoice. What if you can write it off? I had to get to work faster, so I sped. Some accountant will figure it out. But he said he's getting rid of them. He said that if the city councils don't do it and the regions don't do it, he's going to do it. He's going to pass a bill to do it. Get rid of them once and for all. Now, right here in Niagara Falls, last meeting, we had council vote to okay more. They saw the cash grab the region was getting, and they said, "Hey, we got in on the scam. We got to get in on it. We're going to take the money and we're going to spend it on $25,000 ping pong tables." They voted to get in on it. Now, there's the region, of course, had the ones running on regional roads, and they were making a ton of money. So the city saw that and said, "We got to get in on this." I don't know. Was giving our city council more money a good idea? They're spendthrifts. So Premier Ford has told municipalities to stop it, right? But Niagara Falls is defiant in their quest to operate these cash cows. They say speed cameras expansion will continue in Niagara regardless of what Big Brother Doug Ford says. And he's, it's rich that they call Doug Ford Big Brother. Who was it? The mayor? Who was it that said that? I don't know. One of those guys. They call Ford Big Brother. You know what Big Brother is, right? If you read George Orwell, you know Big Brother is the cameras. They're the cameras. So they're calling Doug Ford Big Brother, but Doug Ford isn't Big Brother. It's the cameras that are Big Brother. But these guys, they're too goofy to understand it. It's like the broken window theory Mayor Jim keeps talking about. He's got it all wrong. Broken window theory. They spray it with graffiti. We'll clean it off and give them a clean slate to spray more. No, that's not the way it works, Mayor Jim. You got to take a lesson from Rudy Giuliani, Broken Window Theory 101. Anyway, I digress. So it doesn't matter what the city does. They're not going to get rid of them, but Doug Ford's going to get rid of them if they don't. So they're not going to be able to do it. He's getting rid of them. It doesn't sit well with them, and he's getting rid of them. And, the penguin and the squirrel, they're ready to pull out the money machine. We're going to print. This is a print money machine. Start counting the new revenue to blow. Yeah, just put it right in the books there, squirrel and penguin. $25,000 concrete ping pong tables for everybody. But their hopes have been dashed by Ford. Oh well, another day, another scam. Just raise our taxes 3% more to cover the loss that you never had in the first place. That's the solution, right? Yeah, that's what they'll do. In the end, it's a win for the citizens, a win for the Blade Runner and the painters of Ontario. Job well done, boys. Job well done. Now I know. I'm going to get static from people. I'm going to hear from the woke crowd that says speed has dropped where the cameras were put in, and it's about safety, not about money. And they're going to give me a word salad of complete BS. But why are they putting these cameras in the first place? It's for safety, right? I cannot, nor have any of my friends told me that they remember any time where a child was hit by a speeding car in a school zone. And that's where they put these things. And they give me the speed decreased 9 kilometers an hour wherever they put them. So big deal. Speed decreased 9 kilometers an hour. Big deal. Give me the results of the speed decreasing. Has it led to less accidents? Is it safer? No, I don't see any accidents in school zones. None. I mean, people slow down automatically, most of the people. But how many accidents were there in the school zones before the cameras? Let's see the numbers. You got them. You know what they are. And let's see the number of accidents in front of a school zone after the cameras went in and started grabbing millions of dollars from people. And I'm going to tell you what the results of that would be: zero, none, zilch, nada. Rien. If you want to go on the Tabernacle road, this is nonsense. Road design probably causes more accidents in Niagara Falls than anything except distracted driving, people on their phones not paying attention. You know, yeah, that happens. That happens a lot. And impaired driving. That's probably what causes more accidents now than anything. And those speed cameras, fine, cash grab. But where's our police? Their budget's $213 million, looking for $230 million this year. And Niagara Falls contributes, you, the taxpayers, blast in another $3.6 million for the casino patrol. Yeah, it costs you guys money. 3 points. $1 million a point. And I'm not talking about demerit points. I'm talking about points on tax increases. I mean, I can give you 213 million reasons, plus another 3.6 million reasons why the police should start doing their jobs and patrolling these zones where they perceive there is a problem. Where if somebody going 2 miles over the speed limit, 2 kilometers an hour over the speed limit, even 9, where that's caused accidents or killed people. I think distracted driving and impaired driving are probably worse. And especially since legalizing weed, there's a lot of people driving around stoned. Now, we don't know that. We don't know that because you know what? When they say impaired driving, it includes everything. So we don't get the breakdown. Was this guy impaired by weed or booze? And I'd love to see those numbers, but it's never broken down for us. So all I can say is good job, Doug Ford. The cash machines are going to come down, and we thank you. The Blade Runner and the Painter, thank you. Now we're going to have left wingers standing out there with their Timu radar guns. Oh, that guy's speeding. That guy's speeding. I got 10 people speeding. Well, who cares about that? Did they get in an accident? Did they cause any trouble? No. Okay, that's that. Yeah, you're going to argue with me. I know. Yeah, I know. You're going to argue with me. You're going to give me all the reasons. But hey, facts are the facts. I don't make this stuff up unless you can give me some facts that tell me otherwise. If you do, I'll change my mind and I'll apologize. But until you do, hey, I'm going to stay on this road. And my road is not going to have speed cameras if everything goes right. There's my buddy John Convery out there walking by. Okay, so here we strike again. Contract talks failed, and now we have hundreds of support workers walking the picket line from OPSU, Local 234. They're on the picket line in front of Niagara College and other colleges across the province after weeks of negotiations failed. And word is they're far from reaching a deal. This doesn't affect classes, though. You still got to go to school, you little brats. But it could in the future if they stay off too long. So we'll have to wait and see. Of course, the picketers are on the dummy. They know nothing. I know nothing. As they walk the picket line and refer inquiries to union reps, their focus job security. Programs are being cut as colleges are in financial trouble. And fortunately, Niagara College is not one of them that are in financial trouble right now. And they're claiming it's after many years of underfunding by the provincial government. Make that read the taxpayers. The provincial government is the taxpayers. It's always the taxpayers. Say that Ontario colleges are the lowest funded colleges in Canada. But a lot of these colleges are caught up in this diploma mill stuff where they're starting to limit the number of students who can come in on a student visa. And they're not going to these universities and colleges. Their enrollment's going down. That's where they're losing money, probably. But don't tell anybody I told you that. The college did lay off 29 employees this year. They do not anticipate further cuts this year, but they are concerned about the future. Now, CEC head Graham Lloyd, and I'm not even sure what CEC stands for. Colleges and Educators of Canada? I don't know. I never bothered to look it up. He said close to $1 billion in additional costs if the demands are met that the union are wanting would cripple the colleges in their current financial situation. He said these demands could bankrupt colleges and called them poison pill demands. It'll poison, they'll kill them. Stay tuned, as the colleges are just one of 3 different unions taking action. As Air Canada flight attendants, they're under a contract renewal and they haven't settled yet. They walked away. And the posties are also looking for love in all the wrong places. So that's what's going on with these unions. There's always one of them going on strike, and it's a vicious circle. We'll get through all this, and then next year there'll be 3 more that are going, and next year there'll be 3 more, and 3 more next year where the contracts run out, and it never ends. It never ends. Believe me. And here's something really weird I saw too. And I'm going to get to that right after I get to my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. Whenever industry moves into any city, it doesn't matter where it is. The first thing they want to know is, where are the machine shops? Why? Because when industry has a breakdown, it costs them money. They can't afford to be shut down. Production ceases, money ceases. So what do? They turn to machine shops like Hamel Machine Company, been here since 1948. They turn to them and say, Bob and staff, can you help me? And of course, Bob and his expert staff of designers and IT people and millwrights and all machinists, everybody, they all take an interest in the project. And not only do they go and look and say, hey, we can fix that. If we can't fix it, we can reverse engineer it. We have 3D printers. We have water jet cutters. We can make you a new part. You don't have to wait for a part to be coming from Taiwan or China or Temu, wherever they get their parts from nowadays. We can get you up and running. And that's what they do. And they've been doing it since 1948 for businesses in Niagara Falls. It's amazing the work they do for the wine industry, for the agricultural industry, for the food industry. I mean, they ship parts around the world because when they go in and fix a part, they just don't fix it. They actually make it better, make it work better, more production, more money. It helps the company out. And that's what they do. And that's why they ship all over the world. Hamel Machine Company, it's not just about the industries in Niagara Falls. It's about the city. They do a lot of work for the city, the region, for us private citizens who spin a key on a snowblower. They need a new channel cut. They need a new key installed. They need a shaft welded, whatever. They need gates fabricated because they fabricate design. It doesn't matter what you need. The Hamel Machine Company, they got it. They do it. They know how to do it, and they do it right. That's why they've been around since 1948. HamelMachine.ca to see the beautiful work they do. And I thank you so much for supporting our sponsors because they support the city and they're great corporate citizens. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. Now, this is a weird comment. This Charlie Kirk is bringing a lot of weirdos, right? And Barack Hussein Obama is not. He's one of them, of course. We know that, right? He's going to be in prison orange soon. But he made a statement on the killing of Charlie Kirk that was, to me, just a little bit bizarre. He said, and here's how he started his statement. Of course, the end of the statement has the usual, me and Michelle, the sympathies and condolences and blah, it's a terrible. But he started with this. And I found this bizarre. He said, we don't know yet what motivated the person that shot and killed Charlie Kirk. Does that bother you? Does that bother you at all? Because it bothers me. I mean, what does he mean by we don't know yet what motivated the person that shot and killed Charlie Kirk? You don't know what motivated this guy. Does it really matter what motivated him? He did it. Is whatever motivated this guy to shoot and kill Charlie Kirk, is that going to make it okay? Oh, Charlie Kirk said he didn't like this. Oh, well, then he had a reason to shoot him. Will finding a motive legitimize this killing in some way? What kind of motive is Obama looking for that would make this okay? Who cares what motivated the guy? He shot and killed Charlie Kirk. I found this a rather odd line to lead with from a former president of the United States. Like there was something that could motivate someone to shoot a guy through the neck, a civilian who's got no ties to he's not running for politics, he's not in politics, he's not in the military. What would be a motivation that would be okay for somebody to assassinate someone? I don't get it. To me, it was a very, very, very bizarre statement. Really, really weird. You guys been following the UFO files and in these UFO hearings? I mean, there's some pretty bizarre stuff coming out that the US military admits now that they've been hiding. And we got to wonder what else is going on when they started admitting it. We see a spaceship. Well, I shouldn't say a spaceship, an unidentified flying object. They don't even call it that anymore. They call it something else. But it gets hit by a Hellfire cruise missile or something, and it splits off. It doesn't destroy the thing, but splits off, and other ships come out of it. And there's a lot of weird stuff going on. And they're admitting that this video is real. Plus, they're saying NASA's saying they discovered life on Mars, and they're saying like it isn't life like we know it. Like it isn't people walking around or animal or vegetable or anything like that. It's biological, no, microbiological. I always get stuck on some of these words that I read. Right? Microbiological, single cell things, but they're there and they're alive. They're real. Now, where they came from and what they are, we don't know, because the rover on Mars found this stuff in some clay, and apparently, where they found this used to be a riverbed because Mars was flowing with rivers at one time. I think everybody knows that they had canals and stuff, but they found it in there and never released it, never told anybody about it. But it's there, which means there was at some point, and there is right now, life on Mars. Maybe not like we know it, but there is life on Mars. So they're starting to open up, and these hearings they're not from kooks out in the street like me. They're from people who are in the military who have seen these things and have had encounters with these things. So it's pretty pretty good testimony about what's going on out there. And more is going to be released soon. And this ast 3i Atlas, this now they're calling a spaceship headed to Mars. That's where it's headed for, Mars, and that's when we're going to get a real closer look at this thing, whatever it is. But they're saying that its movements, its speed, everything about it points to something controlling it, not being a random interstellar object flying through the universe, through the Milky Way here. But they're saying that this thing is doing things that had to be programmed into it. So pretty crazy. Pretty crazy stuff going on over there. If you're watching these hearings, you're having your eyes open, and I think now they're going to start releasing a lot more stuff. And Peter Sacco, Dr. Peter Sacco, Peter Dichter were saying yesterday that on September 24th, something big is going to happen. And I don't know what it is. They don't even know what it is, I don't think. But it could have a religious tone to it, or it could have this 3i Atlas. I don't know what it is. Something big is going to happen, they said. So all I know is what I read. And these things are coming out of the woodwork now. These things that have been denied for so long, Roswell, and these aliens that they captured. They got aliens walking away from ships, and this information's being around for a long time. And we're opening the books on a lot of the UFO stuff. We're opening the books on 9/11, opening the books on a lot of different things. The Kennedy assassination. There's a lot of things that are being opened up to the public now. Trump figures the public have a right to know. And I guess they maybe think we're mature enough to see it, understand it, and not panic. We'll see as this 3i Atlas gets closer to Earth, because that's going to be a good one. Now, Monday, of course, is City Council Day. I've gone through the agenda. Now, we'll get into that in a minute after I get to my fourth sponsor, Niagara Parks Commission. And what can I say about the Niagara Parks Commission that 14 million tourists haven't already said? Niagara Parks Commission are custodians of 32 miles of the most beautiful parkway in the world, from Lake Ontario to Lake Erie, with the showcase being right in the center of the river between the two, one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, Niagara Falls itself. So when you come to Niagara Falls, and if locals go down there, which we should more, we don't go down there enough. It's just beautiful down there. It's just beautiful. They have attractions for you too. I mean, you can see the history of Niagara Falls. Well, not the falls itself, although at one time it was at Queenston, and it's worn away the bedrock underneath it to move to where it is now. But the history of the area, we're rich in history. We've had a lot of War of 1812 going on here, a lot of battles here. The Americans versus the British for control of Canada. It's rich in history, but not only history, technological history as well. And the Niagara Parks Commission has taken all this and presented it to you in a format where you can enjoy it. The Rankin Power Station. You can go see how this power station worked in the early 1900s and supplied power, AC power from Tesla, all over the Northeast in Canada. You can go down in one of the waste tunnels where the water flowed through the turbines, create the electricity, out into the river. You walk right to the edge of the river, see where it went. Scenic tunnels, stand beside the falls. Great Gorge Strip, stand beside Grade 6 Rapids. So dangerous, boats can't navigate that area of the river. The Whirlpool, where the river makes a right-hand turn and goes straight into Lake Ontario. There's a whirlpool, and you can see it from the Spanish aerial car that runs over top of it. It's amazing what they offer here. Butterfly Conservatory, School of Horticulture, plants from around the world, butterflies from around the world. Not to mention a zip line that'll take you zipping in front of the American Falls and right down facing the Horseshoe Falls itself. Unbelievable what they offer. And now they have a new $25 million immersive experience called Niagara Takes Flight. And that goes from lake to lake, giving you the experience and the history of Niagara Falls. Just amazing. Anybody who's gone on it says it's totally amazing. Niagara Parks Commission, you can see Bob Gale's goats. They're there too. It's amazing. I love the Niagara Parks. I love the Niagara Parks Commission. And 14 million people a year who come to Niagara Falls love it. Go see it now. NiagaraParks.com. You can get attraction passes. You can see all about it. And when you come to Niagara Falls, or if you're local, you can enjoy everything the parks has to offer. Okay, let's get into the City Council. Thank you for supporting our sponsors. They support the city. They're good corporate citizens. If you tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you, they won't know who you're talking about. So don't worry about that. Okay, Monday show, City Council Agenda Review with Dave Wheeler. And I went to the actual agenda, which is up and running right now. You can see it on niagarafalls.ca and see what it's all about. And I just took a really quick look through it, and I didn't see anything really, really crazy. What did I see there? A couple of planning matters, and they look to me like they'd been before council before, so I'm gonna have to read them closer and see what they're looking for, these developers. A couple of development plans for Garner West. That's development out by Garner Road, and Northwest development plans, which will be out by Kayla Road by Club Italia out that way, northwest. But it looked like a really clean agenda with nothing that should make this a really long meeting. I haven't read the PDFs. There's a couple of PDFs I got to look at, and it has a quarterly report for transit and another report in there I got to look at, see what's up with that. Enbridge, I think Enbridge is going to give some kind of report. But I did see one real weird one, and anytime I see stuff like this, it just makes me wonder how planned this was, or if it's just happenstance and coincidence. Not a big believer in coincidence, but there's a proclamation request for Wrongful Conviction Day. I mean, seriously, if you pay attention to City Council, if you pay attention to the show, you'll see what I'm thinking of when I read that. I don't know who brought this forward. And I don't know why now. Well, obviously, October 2nd, they want to get it on the agenda now so they can honor those who have been wrongfully convicted of a crime. I mean, I don't know. It's just me. I'm suspicious when I see this. I'll investigate it more by Monday when we talk about it on the show when Dave Wheeler's in here, but it just is a weird thing. Wrongful Conviction Day. Okay, you figure it out. You figure it out. Leave comments in the comments if you figure it out. If not, just go back to other city council meetings and check out the videos, and you'll see. Now, for me, it's going to be a short week next week because I'm taking next Thursday and Friday off. I'll be doing the show Monday, City Council Agenda Review, Tuesday, Trash Talking Tuesday, Wednesday, absolutely, and then I'm off for a couple days. I'm taking off. I'll be back on the 22nd for a normal manic Monday. Don't forget, your tax bills are ready to be paid. That's right. Your fourth quarter tax bill is due September 30th. I've got mine sitting right there for $980 or something that I got to pay. I usually pay it around the 15th. Make sure it gets in time. Don't want any penalties. And yeah, that's the last one for this year. So we get a couple of months reprieve, and then we're at it again with well, the next two payments in the new year will be the same because they haven't figured out the budget by time they have to go out. So then you get double hit on your July and September bill. Well, July and October. Covers the third quarter, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. You get the double hit. and September and November, October, November, December, you get the double hit. That's why it's $900 for the last two for me. Anyway, 940 or 80 or something. Anyway, that's what we got to look forward to towards the end of the month. And I'll be off a couple days, like I said, so no show next Thursday and Friday. I'm sure you'll get by without me, and you never know. Wherever I am, I may post a video. You never know what I'm going to do. I may have the urge. I get the urge to post videos. But I never had the urge for the last 2 days to even do a show, to be honest with you. I mean, it's been a tough week for everybody. Ken Dryden died, so it's been a tough week for all our Habs fans. And then we have Charlie Kirk being assassinated on Wednesday, and that's still tough. Still tough. Just there's a lot of stuff that's tough. But we get through it. We get through it. We keep our comments coming. We keep our conservative thoughts getting out to people. And hopefully people comment. Good or bad, they comment. I'll read them on air. We'll discuss them. That's the way it is. On your city, your voice. My name is Paul Calamere. This is coming to you from 4680Q Radio Live. You can catch the video later on if you're listening live on 4680Q. You can catch the video at around 3 o'clock. I always post them and have them up by about 3, the YouTube video. And we'll call it a week here. We'll call it a week. We'll see what happens on the weekend with this Charlie Kirk situation and anything else that's going on. There's so much going on in the news today. And our show really doesn't do it justice. But Monday will be all Niagara Falls. It'll be all City Council. And Tuesday will be part and part, regardless. So anyway, have a great day. God bless you all. Be safe out there. Be careful out there. A lot of wild things going on out there. Just be so careful. It's not like it used to be out on the streets. Support our sponsors. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamill Machine Company, and the Niagara Parks Commission. They support the show. They get the show to you every day. If you enjoy the show, like their pages, support them. Go get a pizza. That's it. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. And like I say, be safe out there, please.